lost all 250 of our baby. Oh, it's a prison shower. You know, some days you win, some days you lose, and some days you lose really bad. And in today's case, I lost all 250 of our baby Canaan fir trees on our Christmas tree farm. That went better than I expected. Yeah. I thought you were gonna face plant.
Now, I'm sure many of you guys remember back in 2020 when we were looking at building our own house. Well, every which way we looked at pricing it, it was going to cost us over $500,000 to build. Because in 2020, as we all know, the prices of everything skyrocketed. And everybody wanted to build and everybody wanted to move. And that meant everything was in short supply. So we decided to pull back and wait a couple more years. Finally now, we decided that maybe it's worth looking into again. After meeting with several builders over the last year and realizing once again prices seemed out of our budget, we finally decided to take a look at manufactured homes, many of which were well under our budget and well under $200,000 for a house. And that seemed pretty reasonable. So we decided to take a look at some of the models not too far from us in Grand Rapids and see if maybe any of these might be the ticket to build this year. However, there were a couple of things that we really needed to look for in a new house. The first one was space for a kitchen. If you remember, we still had that kitchen set in our storage unit. We had bought it several years ago back when we were planning to build, and we paid $5,000 for this beautiful, massive kitchen set out of a $2 million house. We were very determined not to let it go to waste, so we needed a house that would be big enough to accommodate it. The other thing we wanted a living room that overlooked our back hayfield, something large and something grand with big windows that just really took in the scenery in our back area. Of course, we needed at least 2 bedrooms and at least 2 bathrooms because we have 1 child left, so we didn't need 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms. We were also planning to put it on a basement because the basement would give us a little bit extra storage and possibly accommodate a family room down the road. And lastly, we needed a decent mudroom. We don't currently have a mudroom, and that has been my biggest gripe in our current house. When you're on a farm, you know you are dirty, you're muddy, the pets are muddy, the pets are dirty, and if you don't have a mudroom, a specific area to drop it all, it goes everywhere throughout the house. So that was one thing that I absolutely begged for, was to have a nice area where we could walk in, get rid of all of our muddy stuff, and the pets could get clean, and then run through the house like usual. But trying to find all of those things in a house was not an easy feat. Could we even pull it off, or would we have to compromise?
Woo! No wonder I can hear the noise outside. So this isn't finished at all. But wow, you've got like even extra space back here. Well, this is a big space right here. So onward to the next one. All right, so this is a double wide that Eric really likes because the living room is really large. Oh, and there's the kitchen. A large kitchen. And then a dining room in the back. What? What do you mean it's locked? What does this say? We can't even get in and look at it. I know, I remember seeing that one in the product designs.
I like the openness of the other one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They've got the floor plans listed out here. That's kind of nice. As shown or e-built. I'm not sure what the difference is. Oh, that's kind of different. Look at the cupboards around the refrigerator. All right, so this is a laundry room and furnace. Yep, there's a furnace. I mean, you could put, this would probably be where you would put a basement, maybe. Oh, and this is why we're not gonna get a house like this. A sitting room with the wine. Got 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, bathroom. So this is the master. Ooh. Oh, this one's got some nice little sinks. Still not a lot of space. Oh yeah, that's to access utilities and stuff. Alright, onward.
That's nice, but it's cheap.
Well, it's definitely different. Fake texture on the wall. Everything's fake texture. Wow, I didn't even think they made houses like this anymore. Oh, it's a prison shower. Oh, and even the bathtub is not the nicest looking. I mean, you don't have sloped sidewalls, so you're gonna have a sore back trying to sit in that sucker. That's kind of cute though. This is the floor plan. Ooh, it's a chilly 72 degrees in here.
This is like 4 bedrooms.
Is that really? I would have never guessed. Wow, this is a huge. Oh my word. It just keeps going. I mean, you gotta give them props for that fake wall right there. I mean, it looks kind of cute, but I hate the fact that it's fake.
Yeah. It's something different.
It is different. It's very eye-catching. I want to see this blue one. If it's open. This is a really nice deck. Well, except that it's kind of cheap, but it's nice. This is definitely tiny. It looks big from the outside. Cute little bathroom. Bedroom. Another tiny little room. Wow, that is a tiny bathroom. Decent-ish closet. So we're noticing that these floors are actually linoleum. So nice. So this is why we do most of our window shopping online, but it's so nice to see the different upgrades and downgrades of some of these houses. Alright, so this is real quick for our own personal reference. We got shower, tub, toilet. This is the master bedroom. We have the closet. And this is the one that has a pretty nice living room right here. And then a good sized kitchen. Huge kitchen, nice sized dining room. And then back here we have utility room, which is also equally large. And then we got a second bathroom and 2 bedrooms over there. All right, out we go.
That's why it's so big in there, because it's a 32 wide.
All right, I don't see any sign on this one.
I already love this house.
Fancy, the living room's kind of right here, but I do like that entertainment center. Kitchen is a little too tiny. It's smaller. I do like the 9-foot ceilings. I walked in and I felt like it was more space.
Yeah.
Just noticing how tall
This one
the
is
ceilings are.
28
Oh.
by 56.
Interesting bed. Oh, this is interesting. They've got lights back behind here.
Didn't the other one have a huge kitchen?
Yeah, this is definitely a fancier type of house. This is a no. That living room is way too tiny. Oh, there's 2 living rooms. All right, let's go. It's a nice
Dude,
master
it's got a
bedroom.
massive shower.
Oh, there's a makeup counter. Oh, yes. Look at all those jets. Oh, that's a big closet. You got the winning key. And honestly, the 8-foot doesn't look bad. So you've got a mini living room. Then we have a good-sized kitchen, dining room. There's a lot of bedrooms in here. All right, oh hey, look at this. This is a nice little laundry room. So you've got the laundry over there, the sink, and then this is the entryway. So what I'm saying is, like, when you do your laundry, the laundry's gonna be contained right here.
Okay.
So if you're muddy, you're not gonna be walking all the way through it. Oh, it's a nice little sink. Pantry. Bunny rabbit Didy. Woo!
Yay. Slid under dress.
Didy, where's the snow? Bingo. Oh, she's gotta go potty.
What?
Come on. You wanna come over here and run through the snow? So excited to go looking for squirrels. So I came back here in our back area, and we planted approximately 12 bare root Canadian Christmas trees back here about 1.5 to 2 years ago, and I just got to thinking that maybe I should try looking for them, and here's one right here. And these guys haven't been fertilized, they haven't been watered, they haven't had the grass clipped up around them, nothing. And there's another one right there that we dug up. I'm not exactly sure how many are still alive back here, but I'd say the numbers are pretty good. So this is really encouraging to know that we can just plant these trees back here, that this ground is good for them, and the deer don't seem to be bothering them yet back here. So definitely thumbs up. All right, so here's another tree that I did an experiment on. This was last year, actually last fall. I went through and I cut a tree down, and I left one branch on the side, and I had attempted to try to stand it up, but I didn't have the right tools on hand. But it is still trying to stand itself up, interestingly enough, even though I don't have any supports on it. I had to pull it out of the snow, so it's leaning just a bit, but this looks like it's developing a new leader right up here. So, so in theory, this tree right here will eventually become a new little Christmas tree. Now the question is, will it fill in enough? I don't know. These white pines in general and Scotch pines, they're not exactly the fullest of trees as it is, but still doing this experiment, we can see that the tree will in fact take that branch as a new tree. So now we just need to find the other tree that's back here, which is one where we grafted branches into the stump. A little bit harder to find because it's got a stump about this size, and I had like 2 or 3 branches grafted into it. But because of the snow, we might not find it until springtime. All right, so we have our last one we finally found. So this one had a branch stuck on the side and a branch stuck on the top. I didn't have anything to seal it with. I drilled a hole and carved off the end and stuck it in. So it was completely experimental. I think this might have worked if you had left a branch on the side, but because there was no branch, there was nothing to actually feed the tree, so it sensed that it was dead. So I think you could probably insert new branches into the tree if you leave a branch on the bottom. But of course, you know, there wouldn't be much sense in that because the branch on the bottom you could easily just flip up. But that is the experiment that we did last year. That is the remains of it. Good job, bub. Good job finding it. All right, so we are at our storage unit. So we're checking on our kitchen sets. It's been sitting here since 2020. Yes, and even though we are paying a small fortune to store it, the amount of money saved will hopefully be worth it. But, you know, with all the snow, we're just not quite sure what state of affairs it's going to be in. Moment of truth.
Oh, it is on a lip, isn't it?
Yeah, see? All right. Our architect lady was a little bit nervous about the state of affairs of everything, but as far as I can tell, it feels pretty good. We just set the fine furniture on blankets. Everything else is right on the floor. So I have to get back and I have to look at the counters back there. Wish me luck. Okay, so I have to figure out what I can step on and what I can. Productive. Alright, I'm gonna move this light. Ugh. Alright, mission accomplished. Alright, so everything seems to be in decent shape, but really we won't know until we start putting it back together. So let's get this closed up before we get too much moisture in here. We do believe that this tree has not been watered since Christmas. This is almost February and this tree is still holding most of its needles. Look at this. This tree hasn't been watered in over a month. And it is still looking almost as good as when we first got it. This is why we grow fir trees. This is a concolor. And while we don't have concolors planted, the Frasers and the Canans will hold their needles this good. And this is why these trees are worth investing in for Christmas. Because even though they don't look quite as fresh, they don't require as much maintenance as other varieties, and they still look really good. Look at that. And then we have this guy over here. This still looks like he's even growing. Look at these needles, look soft and fresh. You would never believe that this thing has been chopped and then just left in this bucket of water. You know, some days you win, some days you lose, and some days you lose really bad. And in today's case, I lost all 250 of our baby Canan fir trees on our Christmas tree farm. So we knew when we planted these that this was going to be a risk. It was a lot of time spent. And I'm going to say not the cheapest, because we had to buy all of these trays. We had to buy the rooting powder, all the supplies to get this going. So this was definitely a financial loss. So what I noticed is that even though I was watering the trees daily, they just were losing needles. And even though all of them hadn't, many of them had. So it led me to believe a couple of things. First of all, none of them were really growing roots. You can see just a tiny little bit of hair of maybe some roots on this one here. The white stuff is actually the rooting powder, I believe. But we're not seeing what we want to see, and this is after a couple of weeks. And so every one of these is going to show no roots growing. So you're probably wondering, is it even possible? And the answer is yes. It is definitely very possible. Whew. Well, let's get out of the wind and explain this. Whew. All right, this is a lot better. It is windy out there. So, contrary to what you might be thinking, Christmas trees actually take really well to rooting. So we had researched this a couple years before deciding to do the Christmas tree farm, so we knew it was a possibility that could be done. However, there were a couple of things that we did wrong. One of the most obvious ones is the watering system. Originally, Eric thought that we could mist the trees with a spray bottle and that would be sufficient to give them enough water. Unfortunately, this is the middle of winter and it's very dry in the house, and misting alone was not enough to give these trees the water that they needed to grow, thrive, and develop roots. So that was one of the issues. The second issue is a little bit more of a theory. When we bought the Christmas tree, it was in the dead nuts of winter. it was dormant out in the field. So when we brought it home, we actually put it in a big bucket of water outside. And then we would go through and we would clip off all of the branches, bring them inside, and put them into rooting powder, and then put them in our nice, warm, extra bedroom. In case you didn't put 2 and 2 together, very likely what also happened is those poor tree branches went into shock because we had done a micro experiment just 3 weeks prior with our first Christmas tree, the main one that we had growing in our living room. Eric, after 2 weeks of sitting in our living room, Eric decided to cut off one of the small little branch snubs and put it into a jar of water. Now, while it's true that that water got really gross and really nasty and really moldy, when he pulled that branch out, there was, no joke, a tiny little root that had been growing on the bottom of that tree branch. So we knew it was something very easy to do. But again, the tree first had a chance to warm up inside of our house before we decided to cut the branches. So it was able to kind of wake up and start thinking maybe it's springtime. When we took those little tiny babies out of the cold weather and dumped them into pure summertime, they didn't know what to do. So between the shock and the lack of watering, I think they just didn't have a chance at all. So it was a completely failed experiment that should have worked. If you guys have tried anything like this on your property or at home, let me know in the comments down below. I'm very curious what your results were. But as for me, I think we'll try it again, but a little bit differently. And sadly, we now do not have 250 baby concolor trees. However, we might try to buy one off another Christmas tree farm and repeat the experiment again this year just to see if we actually can make it happen. Put your thoughts down below. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen this year on our Christmas tree farm. I have some absolutely fantastic ideas, at least for us, that will help with one of the biggest issues running a Christmas tree farm, and that is planting 1,000 trees. Now, we're debating between 500 or 1,000, and I think we're going to go with 1,000 because I've got a couple tricks up my sleeve that you guys will be shaking your heads at, but it's pure genius. So definitely don't miss the springtime videos coming up, and there may or may not be news on housing. So definitely stay tuned. We've been waiting a long time about getting a different house, and you just want to stay tuned and see what could possibly be coming down the pipeline. So love you guys. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you guys again. Take care. Love you. Bye.